Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Gerard, Black and Philippines with the Truth. I want to welcome you to my channel, all my subscribers, let me check this dude out, all my scallywags, peaches, chicken, commenters, haters, lovers, all of you, welcome to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, share, and like, and yeah, tell a friend. You know, it's funny, I just did my video. I did the whole time with my video. Hold on a second. I just did the whole time with my video, and come to find out that the phone wasn't recording, and I had a whole different setup, like sitting like a king. Out of frustration, I just said, "Man, let me put this in because I'm watching the time, because I can watch the clock." So anyway, the topic that I wanted to talk about today was stepsons, stepchildren, and I want to thank all you who commented on, you know, my interaction with me as two boys. I really appreciate that, your acknowledgement of how I am interacting with them. It's funny. Today is Michael Chris's birthday, and you saw us from the video at the Robertson. We bought him a cell phone, and I know he's excited to hold it, to want to have it, to be able to say it's mine. I want to say, because up until then, he's been borrowing his mother's phone whenever he wants to do something. And so anyway, uh, uh, we brought it home, and it was in a box. And what happened was that, whenever me and I were going out, the cell phone would be in a bag in a box. So knowing human nature and knowing the curiosity of kids, I know he's going to want to take a peek at it. He wants to see it. Oh, he doesn't watch the video. He'll see it, but he's not going to do that. I know he wants to see it because it's my phone, like this. So I already told him. I said, no, you don't get to see it till your birthday. It's your birthday today? No, so you're not going to see the phone. So anyway, uh, when we left, whenever me and I left the house, before then was that I took the new phone out of the carton, and I put one of my old cell phones back in the box and pushed it into the carton and left it in the bag. I even went as far as taking a picture of it, on the desk so I can tell if somebody moved it. But I didn't count on the housekeeper coming in and cleaning, so that destroyed whatever indication of it being moved and by who. So anyway, but I know human nature, I know. So I just wish I could have, seen the expression on his face, or him and his brother's face when they went in the room and they got it and they opened it up and and so it was my old cell phone. In my mind, I know it's going to happen. Why? Because that's what kids do. It doesn't mean that it's anything like that. It's just curiosity is what they do. And so so uh, his birthday's today, so he'll be getting that. So, but I'm going to talk to you about another experience I had with being a stepfather. I was with this Ukrainian girl for quite a while, 10 years, as a matter of fact. And it turned out that she had a son. She had a son. He was about 13 or 14, somewhere around there. And I met her in a club because when I got a joint, I took pictures. I did Polaroids. I'm one of those guys who walk around and say, "Can I take a picture? You want to buy a Polaroid?" And I would take pictures of Polaroids and what have you, and good pictures. I mean, I got a great eye, and pick out the right couples that would buy it. So I was in this club once, and the camera was my way of interacting with people, because I was too um, uh, uh, I was intimidated. I was intimidated to be around people, without my camera. Uh, uh, as surprising as it may seem, because a lot of you see me interact with people, but on my own, I'm very shy. You know, which is just that it's part of my psychosis, I guess. You know, my paranoid schizophrenic the words out. I get paranoid when I'm around people. I don't want to go into that, but anyway, so I saw these two Russian girls or these two Ukrainian girls, and they were dancing drunk, and I got to dance with them and dancing. My dancing, I was a pretty good dancer, and so, dance with the two of them, taking pictures and all that stuff. And what happened was that when we were leaving, we found out that we both lived on Long Island and what have you. And so I told him, look, I have a friend on who's on the radio. You want to give you a shout out? He said, yeah, yeah. So at that time, I had a girlfriend named Tanya Simpson. Tanya Simpson was the first female on-air personality on Sirius Radio. She worked for Kiss FM 98.7 Kiss FM. And I became a personal photographer. And so I can always call her in the booth and say, hey, Tanya, give so-and-so a shout out. Tanya, give so-and-so a shout out. So I said, Tanya, say, just a shout out to these two Ukrainian girls who are waiting, like this, whatever she said. So in the meantime, one of the girls, Elena was passed down the back seat, and Tatiana and I were in the front. And her and I were talking, and we start touching, and we start grabbing, and we start feeling one another. We start doing things who are guys to the girls and girls to the guys under the circumstances inside the car waiting on that. So we got to know each other a little bit in that short amount of time. So what happens that the shout out came and we both parted. So I started seeing her, and I was supposed to see her, I think, the next night or something like that. We agreed. But I had a date with another girl, this girl named Sharielle, and I was seeing her too. Very, 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 very wild. But anyway, so we're sitting in a restaurant, and Tatiana's calling, and I'm not answering. And so I told Sharielle, this is what I do for you, those type of thing. And so when we finished dinner, she went her way, I went my way. And I went driving all over Long Island looking for a florist because I wanted to buy a dozen roses to give to Tatiana. And so I'm looking, and I find a florist that's open 24 hours, and I bought a dozen roses. So I drove to the house, and I put them on our windshield. So that way when she comes down and goes to work, she'll see these dozen roses on the car window. She came down to go to work, but she wasn't happy when she saw the roses because it was wintertime and the roses had froze to the windshield. So now she has to scrape off the roses off her windshield like this, and probably cursing me every scrape like this because she's on her way to work or whatever. So anyway, which she worked at Lord & Taylor's as a salesman. And I was talking to her. And so I asked her, what did you do in Ukraine? She said, I was a school teacher. I said, you were a school teacher? She said, yes, a second grade school teacher. I said, look, get your credits from Ukraine school, your teacher's certificate, all that stuff, have it sent to the United States, convert it over to American standards, and see how many more credits you need to have your license, your teacher's degree here in the United States. And she did. Mind you, that a lot of times when online courses, when she wasn't there, I was doing a course. So, together, she got her teaching certificate. Now, knowing how they feel about blacks, they don't like blacks much, So I wasn't able to go to a graduation, because I was black. She didn't want everybody to know that I was black. But which was okay, because at that time I was working with Al Sharpton. As his personal photographer, and I didn't want everybody to know that I was dating a white girl. So it worked out just fine. So she had a son, and the son was, like I said, 14, something like this. And they lived inside a garage that was converted to one bedroom. So you can imagine how small it was. And when I walked in to meet him, he had this big poster of Tupac on the wall. You know, you know, uh, big uh, shot of Tupac on the wall. As soon as I walk in, I say, "Oh, shucky ducky quack quack." I know which way to go with this. And so anyway, you know, um, him and his friend were infamous on the website for making CDs, mixtapes, mixed CDs and selling them and all that stuff. In fact, NAFTA had shut them down because they were selling so much. And so he used to always argue with his mother. Wow, wow. His mother would tell him, clean the room, wash the dishes, take out the garbage. Please, please. It's always a mess in here. And he would do what Ukrainian like this. So one day I said, come here, you little mother flacker. I said, you want to make $20 a week? He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, okay, look, I'll pay you $20 a week for you to take out the garbage, clean your room, and wash the dishes. That's all you have to do. I said, will you do that? He said, yeah, 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 I'll do that. I said, cool. So this went on for years. She never knew. Tatiana never knew what happened to him, why he made a 360-degree change. He went from not doing it to doing it religiously. And I knew what I was doing. It was my way of buying my way into his life. You know, being someone who was able to have some type of authority over him and tell him, yeah, things. So anyway, so here we moved, and a lot of his friends, start shunning him because his mother was going with a black man. They started teasing him, riffing him, all that stuff like this, and he was very angry about that. He was very angry. His friends wouldn't come around no more. They like this to visit him or whatever because there's a black man there. So one day you go into the bathroom and it's piss all over the seat, it's like this. I said, yo man, come here. I said, who you think is going to clean now? Are you leaving it for me to clean? You leaving it for your mother to clean? Who? Granted, we all ain't got, the the aiming ability to hit the water directly all the time. God bless you if you are. But me personally, I mean, if I was to, man, I piss on everything, 180 degrees around me, you know what I'm saying? Like this. And if I don't get it fast enough, I'm pissing on myself. So we kind of got that straightened out or whatever. And he was a good kid, you know. He was going to school, and when he graduated high school, he decided going to college. And I told him, as long as you stay in school, you can stay here, one of these type of things. And he was going to school, and he got a job as what do you call one of the guys who park cars. I can't remember hotels or whatever. And he was making good money, and so finally, it was something that came up. He had so many cars. He had like 3 cars, and they had to move, and the insurance was due, and his mother was paying insurance and wanted him to pay insurance. I'm not paying. I'll sell him, so he sold him and got rid of him. And so then he quit his job. And then I told him, look, you can't stay here unless you work. He says, there's no work. So I put him in a car and drove him to, look, help wanted. And I finally, I went to Home Depot because I went to do something. And I asked him at Home Depot, I said, look, are you hiring? They said, yeah. I said, I have a young kid in the car. If he come in and feel like, he said, we hire him today. So I went outside and told Dean, I said, Dean, look, they said they're hiring. You're hire. He said, fill out application. No, I don't want to fill out that application. I do it online. I said, oh, you don't want to do it. You want to do it online. All right, okay. So anyway, in the meantime, he came to me one time and said, Gerard, he says, can I bring a girl up into my room? I said, absolutely not. You cannot bring a girl up in this room until your mother and I had met her. She sat down at our table, had eaten, and we got to know her. I said, maybe then you can bring her into your room. He says, okay. And I can tell you were disappointed. So the next day came, he said, Gerard, he said, I blocked that in the car. I said, oh, okay. He said, and guess what, Gerard? I said, what? She was a black girl. I said, You're trying to get my veins. Is that what you're trying to do? So I said, okay, cool. I hope you use protection. One of those kind of things. And so anyway, so when we got home that day from the Home Depot thing, and I told him, I said, look, I said, the mother and I are going on a cruise. You can't stay here. I don't care where you stay. You can stay in the street. You can stay with your father's house. You can stay with your uncle's house. You can stay anywhere, but you can't stay here. You know, not working or doing nothing with your life. No way. So he said, "Okay, I'll join the service." I said, "Oh," because I told them a lot about the service like this. So this is what I'm saying. If you're talking to kids and you don't think they hear you, they hear you. You know, and there'll come a time when it hits them in the brain. Oh yeah, I remember. And he said, "I'll join the service." So I said, "Okay, come on." So I put him in the car and boom, right down to the recruiter's office. He jumped out. He was going inside. Wait, I'm going inside with you. No, I'm going by myself. So I parked the car and went inside, and he was sitting in front of the Marines. And I walked inside. He said, and recruiting officers, we don't know what the Navy do. We're the Marines. So I put my arm around him very lovingly, backed out. I said, look, I said, you see, Marines, Army, Air Force, Navy. I said, that's where you want to go into, the Navy. So at this time, I saw that he was allegedly experimenting with drugs because there was aluminum foil around outside the house and straws and all that stuff, which indicated drug use. So I told him, tell the recruiter what you're doing if you're using drugs or whatever, and he'll help you pass, the examination. And he did. He passed the examination, and which was good. And Tatiana had gotten her teacher's certificate. She even got a job working as a second elementary school teacher in Brooklyn, which was total culture shock to her. Being around all the little niggas and all this stuff, you're like, wow. And being around other black women was traumatizing to her. Because what do they talk about? They talk about their men. And she couldn't say nothing to them about her man. She never wanted them to know that she was with a black man. Especially at my caliber, and which was fine. Like I said earlier, she used to bring friends home from work and to meet me, and she would not tell them I was black just to watch the expression on their face. I said, Tatiana, you're so bad, and like this. So anyway, the point of the matter is that she was able to assimilate into the U.S. and land a teaching job with tenure, which means she never can be fired. So anyway, so Dima went into the Navy. He hated it. He was refueling jets, and he saved all his money. He visited ports, and he got a chance to spread his seed wherever he did or whatever it was. And when he got out, he decided he wanted to stay in San Diego. And he got a job in San Diego as a carrier. He would carry human organs, from the airport to the hospital, from the hospital to the airport, like this. He was a carrier, and other items too as well. He ended up meeting another Ukrainian girl and getting married and what have you. When his mother and I went to visit him, he says, Gerard, come here, I'll show you something. And in his basement and in his closet on the bottom floor, you couldn't even see the floor because he had so much silver. He had gold. He had coins. Dima was very smart with the stock market, so he invests all his money, in this, and virtually, he was buying laundromats and what, buy apartment buildings and whatever. So he was very smart on that front, So I'm telling you this story because, the influence I had on that culture, it's going to last eternity. Tatiana told me if I was to go back to her country and meet her family, who I chat with on Skype, They said her family be ostracized for 2 generations if a black man came to visit them. That's how much they dislike blacks. But because of the uh, influence that I made into their culture, and it's going to last, you know, eons and zeons or whatever, they would never let it be known that the reasons we have as much as we have here in the United States is because of a black man. And just when you think that if a child is not listening to you, you may be wrong. Because at some point in time, the things you say, it will hit them, it will register in their head. So you have to say and teach things knowing that you may not understand now, but you will one day. See, I know the importance of that statement now. You know, you will one day. One day it'll hit you. The things that I'm saying to you, and you'll say, ah, that's what Gerard was talking about. So I'm watching the time's up again. You know, I'm surprised I did this video again, but anyway, you know, um, I'm just thinking about my babies. How much I miss them and love them, John and Janelle. There's a hole in my heart every day for them. Okay. So you're watching Gerard, Black in the Philippines with the truth. Never disrespect the elderly, always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see it, vision. And the best for things in life is to live good. I'm living good today. I hope you are too. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ali Woodson, formerly singing a Temptation One song, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king. I'll always love you more. And teach the children well. Peace. Okay, I'm editing the video, but I just thought of one other thing that I want to add in here before I go. In dealing with different languages, there was one time that his mother, myself, and him were sitting at the table, and she asked him if he wanted some more potatoes, and he went on this, and I could tell from the expression of Tatiana's face that she was hurt from the things that he was saying. And so, I'm sitting there like this. Like when he finished, I put my fork down and I said, Dima, would you have said what you just said to your mother if so and so was sitting here? Or so and so was sitting here? Or so and so was sitting here? Someone else who knew the language. Would you have said what you said to your mother? He said, no. I said, don't you ever again disrespect me by speaking in your own language like that to your mother, taking advantage that I don't understand the language. If you do, I will forbid both of you from speaking your native tongue in this house. I want to put that in there, but that's an important thing I wanted to say. Let me go on. Oh, well, it's over. This is the last part. I'll talk to them next time.